Alright, so I am going to walk you through using the Paycheck Trackers by utilizing the budget overview. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of how I do my expenses from each paycheck. So first and foremost, I'm going to input my income up here. So General Mills just paid me, let's say it is December 28th, and then I got paid $1,300. I also have a side income. I teach classes at a community college for cookie decorating. So on that same day, I got paid for that as well. We'll just say $200. All right, so as you can see, I put my side hustles up here. I do not include them on my budget overview because they just change so much. There's some months I don't have any extra income, and some months I do. So I just like to kind of pretend that it's a surprise income. I don't like to plan for it because any extra income I am going to just pay to debt anyways. So, all right, so down here, so our budget overview, these are the days that you have that these bills are due. Now, an important note on this, just because it's the day they're due, you can always pay them early. So what I personally have done, have gone through, and it's easier if you use the calendar to do this, go ahead and put all your due dates in, and then you can kind of move them around. See how much you're going to make, and if your bills, for that paycheck are too much, then you need to pay them maybe earlier in the month or later in the month if you can get away with that. So what I have done in order to do that is I went back, I actually doubled up on some bills some months. So for example, a lot of these debt payments, like our credit cards, they're due kind of in the middle of the month. I paid them, like this one, the Bodo card, or the Amex SPG. They're due on the 9th and 11th. Well, my first paycheck is with my mortgage coming out. My paycheck almost directly goes to my mortgage, so I don't have a lot left over. So I just kind of doubled up 1 month and was able to kind of fluctuate it and pay it a little bit early, and then that way I can pay it towards the end of the month, just extra early every time. I hope that makes sense. Just kind of move your dates around and figure out what works for you and your paychecks is basically the moral of the story. I don't really see there's a sense in showing you how to do it because it's going to be different for everybody, because everybody's due dates are different, everybody's expenses are different. But just play around with it and move things around. That's why I have taken a lot of, or anything that I can that's easy to take off auto pay, I have. I like paying things on my own as a manual payment because I know that way I can put them in my paycheck tracker that I have paid them on that day. I know the exact amount. I know exactly what day they're going to come out. Auto draft just kind of tends to surprise you sometimes, and I didn't like that feeling. So anything that was really difficult or I get a discount on my auto draft, I left that on there. But for the most part, all of my credit cards and some of my utilities are manual payments now, just because I like having that security. So back to the paycheck tracker. So first and foremost, I know my mortgage comes out on the 1st every month. So we're going to scroll down here to mortgage. Then I type it in. You can type in whatever you want right here. And we have budgeted 1,000, let's just say, and my actual was 1,000. All right. Whoops. So next is my student loans. So that's our budgeted and our actual every month. So whenever you're filling this out, your actual you don't want to fill in until it shows up in your checking account. Because, that's just kind of a give me, and it kind of helps. I kind of fill out things in advance, obviously. If I know it's coming, then you can go ahead and fill it out. It's really whatever works for you. But this is meant to be what you're expecting, and this is what it actually ends up being. So just so you can have these numbers exactly right. All right, next is internet. We use Cox. So... And then next we do life insurance. We have a separate thing for that for my husband. And then I have some business stuff for my graphic design side business and my cake classes. I just put it under business. So, okay. So that is all the bills I have coming out with this paycheck. So if you scroll down here, you're going to have I'm going to have $204.63 left over. So what I do on my digital cash envelopes and my savings, I actually don't pull any out from this first month's paycheck because, like I said, I don't have a whole lot left over. If I didn't have this side hustle income right there, as you can tell, I would only have $4.63 left over. So I don't plan on pulling any money from my digital and cash envelopes or my savings and sinking funds. I actually push that back until the next two paychecks. I divvy it up between the two paychecks only because that's what I have the money allotted for. So that's what you guys have to figure out and pull it out whenever it works for you for that month and your paycheck. So let's put that back in. But since I did have this side hustle income, I will have an extra $204.63. So that is going to go to my extra debt. So we will say I have a debt payment. Right now, the credit card I'm working on is my Barclay credit card. So don't have any of that budgeted in, but we're going to spend it. And then that makes that number 0. And that is what you want to see. So that is one paycheck tracker, for example. So these numbers you would change as they clear. And that's it. That's really all that you would do on that. So that matches this budget overview. So for the second the second paycheck tracker, so the second income for the month, that is on the 14th. That is my income. So we'll say that's coming up, another $1,300. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. I'm just going to go through and put in my categories. And then I'll go back in and type everything in. I think I can do this quicker that way. All right. Whoops. Okay. So that's my Lowe's card. That's Metro PCS. That's who we use for our cell phones. We use Simply Safe for our home security. We do get an home insurance discount by having a home security system. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so we have alright, so that is what we have budgeted. I'm going to go ahead and just put this in as actuals as well because all of those are set expenses. None of those are variable. So, and then our digital and cash envelopes, just so I can show you this. So we have my fuel card. We are going to do 75, which is half of the amount over here. So we'll do the 75 on this paycheck, and then our paycheck tracker 3, we will do the next 75. Okay. And then we have, I'm going to do my pet expenses. I'm going to do all of them, all 100 on this paycheck. There is no rhyme or reason for these numbers necessarily. It's just what I have found out works for us. Car maintenance is half. Household goods, we're going to do half. As you can see, I am filling in the actual on these amounts just so we can see that our income down here zeroes out. It's just so you can see that. So hair and beauty, we're going to do half. We are not going to do fun money this paycheck. I'm just going to do dining out, and we're going to do half of that. And then groceries, we're going to do half. Okay, so that leaves me with $401.20. So down here, we're going to do savings. And then we're going to do all of our sinking funds. So Sorry this is taking so long, guys. I know it's kind of boring to watch, but I hope seeing me actually put everything in kind of shows you, and as has me walking through it kind of helps you guys out. Alright, so we're only going to do part of the savings. I'm going to do all of my other sinking funds. Okay, so that leaves me with $32.87. So like I said, again, this is just what works for us. We have figured out that I can do all of the sinking funds on one time and cash all of that out. And then up here, we did half of everything except the pet expenses and the fund money. We didn't do any fund money. But anyways, $32.87, so that is going to go to a debt payment. I have that extra, so we are going to, again, I'm working on my Barclay card, so we're going to pay that to my Barclay, and that zeroes that paycheck out. Okay? Oh, and I didn't put a starting bank account balance, so you come back here to Paycheck Tracker 1. That's my bank account balance at the end of that, so that is what should carry over here. All right. So on the last paycheck tracker, same thing. I'm going to put in my husband's income here. I'm going to list out all of the rest of the bills I have for the end of the month. Then I'm going to do the remaining of the other half of those digital envelopes, and I'm going to add in the fund money. I will have a little bit more savings, but no sinking funds, because all my sinking funds were on the first one. And then it looks like I will have about $100 left over to be able to go to more debt as well. Hopefully I will have some more side hustle income coming in, and that will just increase this extra debt number. So I hope this makes sense. I hope it is clear for you guys about how to kind of use your budget overview to help with your paycheck trackers. Just like I said, just sit down and really figure it out. It took me a couple of months to really figure out what works, and now I have, this a master copy, and I have all of these bills saved on each paycheck tracker, so I don't have to keep retyping them in every month. I know exactly what paycheck they're going to come out on and how much I'm going to pull from my digital and cash envelopes. We do have a couple of seconds left before my time runs out here, so I'm going to move over here to our cash envelope breakdown. If you look here, so paycheck 2, so you have these automatically carry over from your digital and cash envelope section. Now this is for your cash breakdown. So if these are digital, you won't fill this line out. But for example, my dining out, that is what I do cash that out. So my husband and I each get $25. So I know I need a 20 and a 5 for each of us to put into our cash envelopes. So all you have to do here is type in 2 5s and 2 20s. And that is $50. The rest of these are all digital envelopes, so I don't need a cash breakdown for those. Hope that makes sense. All right, and then what you can do is come all the way to the end of your bundle, and you have a cash envelope teller card. So what you can do is print these out, cut them out. This is one card right here, and then all you have to do is transfer these numbers, your total bill count, over into here, and then all you have to do is total it and hand that to your teller, and that makes their lives a lot easier and make sure that you get the bills that you need. So hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.